to Departure Denied, a podcast centered around Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Each episode will be hosted by a regular group of WU players who take part in most, if not all, events. On these podcasts, we'll be taking a look at upcoming events, as well as expressing our opinions on the state of the game and much, much more. Today's edition, we're going to be taking a closer look at part one of this April's brilliant event, Burrow Beseiged. It begins on April the 7th, 11 a.m. PT, 7 p.m. BST. We're going to look at some of the foundables we know about, talk about our expectations, and also share our thoughts on the brilliant event in general. But let's start by introducing ourselves. I'm Ray. I'm a just turned level 46 Magizoologist.
I'm Laurie. I'm a level 48 Aura.
I'm Steph. I'm a level 50 Aura.
Awesome. Thanks all. Really excited to start chatting about all this. So as we know, obviously this event is called Burrow Beseiged. So we now know about the task, but we'll start from the blurb that Niantic, Portkey, WB, whoever it is, we don't really know who it is these days. We'll start with the blurb tells us that we'll be catching brilliant Ron, as well as Fred and George Weasley's infamous decoy detonators in part one. And it's quite an interesting follow-up from the Circus Calamitous in March, as that had several foundables that weren't currently in the game. Zuru, Kappa, and Nagini. What are your thoughts on that? So obviously these are foundables that actually exist in the game at the moment.
Yeah, it was interesting to have foundables that we didn't have in the last one, but I think they got a lot of questions asking if they were going to be in the game, and they had to quickly reply and say no. So maybe they've gone back to having foundables we've seen, but also there are a couple that we haven't. Weasley's Outer King banner is not in the game, and neither is Pigwidgeon. As we know, that's Ron's owl.
Yeah.
And also a comic book, which I guess from the picture.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's a Martin Miggs comic book, because that is in the game.
So yeah, they've obviously they've used some foundables then, and they've used some repetition, but obviously they've tried to incorporate different things on each event as well that aren't necessarily like you can't get from fortresses or you can't get from anything like that. So there's definitely a nice mix in there.
Yeah, I think I quite like the fact that you've got new foundables in there when you do the brilliant events, especially like we had the Zuru and the Kappa. Just something that you wouldn't normally see in the game, and I think that's a nice way to introduce it. But then I also think they should follow it up with bringing them into a page on their own afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. I do think we will see the ones from Circus Calamitous, but perhaps around the time Fantastic Beasts is out, the next movie, which we don't know when that's going to be at the moment, obviously, with movies being delayed. But yeah, the catchable, we always say catch because of Pokemon Go, but the ones that we have to release from the Confoundable, they usually are ones that are in the game. Same as this time they are. Ron is in the game, and so is Decoy Detonators. But yeah, it would be really cool to get the Zuru, the Kappa in the game soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the Zuru foundable. I thought that was one of my favourite ones. It's like the style of it was really, really cool. I just like to see it not covered in purple, you know. I just want to see how it naturally animates in the game. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, it's a great animation. Probably one of my favourites.
Definitely. Swooping Evil is probably my favourite overall.
Oh yeah, yeah,
but
that's a lovely one.
Zuru's a very close second.
It's always like when you see a Swooping Evil in the wild, there's always that feeling of there's like that gasp, isn't there? That kind of like the style of it is really, really nice. So it's
glorious.
Yeah. Yeah, Zuru's definitely one I liked. Nagini was pretty nice as well, actually, and obviously Kappa's interesting. I think, is he in a hot tub or is he
in a bath?
Oh, he's in a bath, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, he was just like unwinding in the hot tub. I was thinking I would love to be doing that right now. But no, it's really cool. It's nice that they're bringing back familiar foundables that we've already had in the game, but also they're adding some new things as well. So they're splicing it up a little bit, which is interesting.
I mean, I haven't needed young Ron or Decoy Detonators for months. I know, Steph, you've just prestiged young Ron page.
Hey, congrats!
I'm so excited about that.
Last Dumbledore. I need one more Dumbledore, and then I'll need young Ron again.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to live on an inn.
Oh, definitely.
That's the worst problem to have, really.
I know. I thought, I'll just give it a go. I wasn't actually going for Dumbledore when I had that in mind. I can't remember which one I was going for. I thought, it's Firenze is what I was actually trying to get. Because I only need two more Firenze. So I thought,
Same.
I'll give it a go and see if I can get any Firenze. And then, Dumbledore pops up. So it's good times.
Super rare Dumbledore, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen 14 and I've got all 14.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky there. I know that, some people have the emergencies depart on them quite often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's been my problem. Dumbledore
Yes,
keeps
did he?
departing on me all the time. He is one of those foundables, like nemesis foundables that you have. He just keeps departing every time I
Yeah.
see him. It's the worst.
How do you guys deal with foundables that you don't need? Do you still catch them now, or do you back out and save your spell energy?
Well, yeah, don't need to save any spell energy living on the edge. So no, I generally tend to catch everything because you get that luck sometimes of getting some coins or some potions or the dark detectors. So yeah, I generally tend to, I say this as I've got like a screen full of foundables, but yeah, normally I catch everything I can. And
Same.
I also need rune stones.
Yes.
I'm always desperate for the 9 3/4 ones, so they are always being caught. So obviously with the last event, the Ministry of Magic ones,
Yeah.
which I was running stupidly low on until I finally got the visitors entrance finally. So
Yes.
yeah, but now I'm on the gold page. I haven't bothered.
Yeah, same. When I'm on the gold page, I'll use those rune stones if I've got nothing else that I need to go for.
Yeah, so I've got a while to go because I need a load of veils and now newts.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yes, I needed one more veil, but now
Yeah.
I still need one more veil and 12 newts.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
my God.
not been a very popular decision, shall we say?
No. Shout out to Nikki who got her last veil in the interim of them accidentally releasing Newt and when he should have been released, so
Yeah.
she didn't prestige.
Yeah, yeah. Was it because he was in the beta, right? Is that right?
I think it was meant to be Kingsley Shacklebolt right in the beginning. And then they changed it to Ministry Newt in the beta because he's in the guide book. And then they took him out completely. But I wouldn't have minded if they'd added him in, if they had re-added him with an event to let everybody get, enough to prestige one page worth. Because it's just put everybody on a different kind of trajectory on that page now.
It feels weird, like the fact that I've prestiged the page and I hadn't had to have caught this foundable prior to prestiging that page, and now I do. It's like it's strange, like in the sense of almost like I feel like I prestiged it, and now all of a sudden I've got an extra foundable. Now I prestige. It's really odd.
Yeah,
they should have really just added it to a new page. Really, I think
they should.
If they were going to introduce it into a new page, it does feel really strange that some people have prestiged that page already without having to get newt previously.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we always looked at that page, didn't we, and thought there's a big, massive blank space in there, and thought to ourselves, yeah, that feels like something could be added there or should be added there. So, but we didn't necessarily want anything to be added there.
Yeah, not when you've got the veil. It's hard enough, and now you're throwing in another foundable, which is very rare. I think it's a bit harsh when you get ones which you've got two really very severes on the same page. It does make prestiging quite hard then.
Yeah, very difficult.
I suppose that's an interesting thing because we'll move on to the next point we're going to have now, because we've mentioned, sort of touched upon this, how most brilliant events have had foundables already part of WoO, and we've sort of already said that the Circus Calamity foundables are probably going to appear in the registry at some point. Where would you put them, or should they get their own page, or would you add them to a page similar to how they've done with Newt?
I would not add them to another page. I think that they can kind of get away with it with the Newt because he was supposed to be on that page anyway, but I don't think that it was a very popular move and they shouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I would like, and this is probably never going to happen, but a completely different tab for Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, a new family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool. Not sure because they've put some of the stuff in Magizoology already.
Yeah.
Actually, pretty much everything there is from Fantastic Beasts.
That's become almost the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, so I don't think they would have a new family for that, but they obviously could for something completely different.
What was on the first Brilliant event? Was there anything on that hasn't been added to the game yet? I can't remember if there was anything extra on there.
No.
On the first one.
Yeah, it was the
It was Buckbeak,
the Buckbeak
the
one,
unicorn.
because that was fantastic flora and fauna.
Yeah.
So that had the.
I mean, it was a salamander. That's not
Salamander.
in. And Snargler.
Acromantula.
So I'm just wondering, maybe some of those could appear on that
Tree stump.
page. They haven't technically been
Yeah.
in the game yet, so those would kind of make some
I mean,
sense.
they could have a kind of fauna
Fauna category.
Yeah, there's not a lot of plants or anything in the game.
Well, and that's the thing. Harry Potter is absolutely full of plants, right? I mean,
yeah, that kind of stuff.
There is a lot of potential to do something like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they've got the baby mandrake.
we always call him Baby Groot.
Yes.
Or Jazz Hands Groot, one of the two. But yeah, it's there are some scattered in the registry, but maybe, as you say, maybe having a new category might make sense. That'd be quite a cool thing to add to the game, I think, at this point, because I think it's been around long enough that you could expand it in that way, in between, like waiting for new features and whatnot.
Yeah. And I know it's easy just to throw them into Magizoology, just because it's kind of Newt, Magizoologist. But I think it would be cool just to have another tab and make it pink,
Yes, pink.
We need pink foundables.
Not purple. We're done with purple.
No, we're done with purple.
Purple's a lovely colour, mine, so I do like.
Yeah, but we're lacking in pink in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when the brilliant event's on, like the screen just feels like it's covered in purple. So I mean, I feel like sometimes that's all I ever see. So it's it can dull it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I suppose when obviously we've got Burrow Beseiged coming up now, and as we've mentioned, decoy detonators are in the game. They've been in the room, the requirement 2 page, and I have, as we've said, I kind of haven't. I can't remember the last time I clicked on that foundable and actually tried to catch it.
For me, it's every time if I've got the spell energy.
Yeah.
I know. The way you play, you only click things if you need them.
Yeah, I'm a bit bad at that, so I don't always like to click on things that I've already got. I sometimes get a bit sort of, I'll leave it, and I'll just rather focus on things I need to my registry. But I'm getting to a point, I suppose, now where I need less and less all the time, and obviously I'm clicking on less and less as a result. So I'm having to kind of eventually double up on things I already own, and especially if I do want to focus on runestones, I'll do that a lot. But that's when I really do it.
So are you not bothered about picking up the rewards that you sometimes get from the foundables?
Yeah, that's the odd one, because I mean, I think there was a time when we were out and we actually had you get lots of things like dark detectors will drop from foundables, you get potions drop, and so I guess sometimes I do miss out on some of that because I don't click on everything that I see. But like, I think I've got myself into a habit. When you have these community days and you literally go on a mission, right? I'm going to go for this one foundable that I need, and I'm just going to focus on that. And I've kind of got myself into this mindset with everything now with the game. Like, I just focus on what I need and that's it. It's weird.
And you don't play for quite as long every day.
No, I don't. I dip in and out quite a lot. I mean, I do my daily tasks every day, of course, and obviously I'll play for community days and we'll do for fortressing, but I don't play it as actively perhaps as I have. And that's something I guess I've been finding recently, is I probably do play the game less time per day than I used to when I first played it. I don't know about anyone else, but
obviously with all the changes now and not being able to go out with friends, it's become a different game for me, because from the first we were meeting up once, twice a week, sometimes more. It was very sociable. We fortress together, we do dark detectors together, we even just meet up for events to go around together. None of that's happening right now. So yeah, it's become different.
It's hard to keep yourself motivated into the game with everything that's going on, and I think hopefully we can get through this and still enjoy the game like we used to, and things get back to normal, really.
I mean, how do you think, I've seen people when they announced all the events for this month, they say, can we have a break from events? It's week after week. But for me, I like having those events. It's keeping me playing right now. Without the events, I would probably do my daily stuff, have a look at it a few times, and that would be all. But for the events, I know what I'm waiting for them to announce them, I'm planning them, and then I'm doing them. And even after I finished all the tasks, I still do play the events.
I think with the brilliant events, and I understand why, but they just last so long.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think they could just mix it up a little bit. And I know you have your community days, but it would just be nice just to be able to just get more rare things on a bit of a regular basis, like just having, I think at the minute, because it's just different gameplay because of how things are, that you are at home a lot more. And I know they've done the trace tonics to, you've got all the ingredients, you can brew them faster. But I still find when I use them, I could put 5 on and will probably only get 1 or 2 good things from them.
Yeah. Same. We're not getting lots of like severe from them, but more than before. So they have been boosted a bit.
Yeah, I'm not finding that at all. See with those.
Same. I'm not either.
Then
I'm using around 3 to 4 a day at the moment. And what did I get yesterday? I think I got a Victor and Hermione. The Victor Crumb and Hermione. There were a few other things that I got, but I think they were just random wild spawns.
I think you've had a few young Siriuses, and you had a dog, I think, off one, didn't you? The 3-headed dog.
Yeah.
So you get stuff like that a bit. But I mean, I'm the same as you, Steph. I don't really get much of anything at all. I'm quite limited on what I get.
No, and then when you get the brilliant events, you get the brilliant spawns that make you even further. So
yeah, I think that maybe there needs to be a way, and we know they can do this now. If you've finished all of the brilliant tasks, including the bonus, they can turn off those spawns for you. But then I know some people might not want that because they do like getting the runestones. Like I like building up the runestones. They've been great at the moment for just doing Ruins 1, try to get as many gifts as possible.
100%.
But also, but then if you wanted it to last, you could not claim the bonus task to leave it open until you wanted to stop the brilliant spawns. If they implemented something like that, a bit like they did in the previous event where they changed what was on the trace tonics, they changed what was on the landmarks for each stage of the event that you were on. If they could do that with a brilliant event, I think that I would enjoy them more. When I got bored of the brilliant stuff, I could just turn it off, especially with the overlapping events.
Yeah, no, I don't mind seeing them in the wild. It's just on the trace tonic.
Okay, yeah.
Then it's that it frustrates me that I'm getting those on there where I feel like then it ruins your chances of getting
something else,
better foundables then instead. Because I also like to build up my brilliant runestones. Number 1, great for just smashing out the gifts at the minute, and I always kind of have it in my head. I always like to get to 65 plus, just so it looks cool in my registry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I always try to hit 65. There's a couple that I've missed.
Same. But I still don't mind seeing them in the wild, just keep on building those up. But just on those tonics, it would be good that they just spawned normal spawns.
Yeah. Especially since the brilliant ones always seem to take more spell energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though they've reduced them from a high to a medium.
Yeah.
Because they used to be high until they started asking for high from tasks.
Yeah. And I think that's been a big problem with, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you were saying about how the brilliant events just feel like they take too long. I think a big part of the problem with that is the tasks, we do fly through them a lot quicker than probably we should. Or they want us to. And that's not necessarily because we get a heads up on things sometimes, which we're actually going to dive into in a sec. But also because I think sometimes the tasks are just made to be done quite quickly because people have been upset in the past that it's taken them longer to do things, or they haven't quite had enough time to get onto the bonus stages of it, things like that.
I mean, I was seeing that for the last one as well. People didn't have a chance to finish. They were saying they weren't seeing enough brilliant spawns to finish the bonus task. But I think there are people who live in rural areas who don't get very many spawns anyway. So even though, they've been great, they've increased the spawns, for some people, increasing nothing is still nothing. So they're not getting those extra spawns. Same as the spell energy on the map. They didn't get any ingredients or anything before, so that now they're not seeing any ingredients. I think they need to do a better job at increasing spawn points in rural areas for sure.
Yeah, especially given the situation at the minute, it does make it really hard for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's another. I was actually making the point last night. I mean, even with the daily tasks, I think at the moment those daily it requires you to visit a fortress every day. It requires you to spin 2 inns every day, walk 0.25 kilometers. I mean, walking isn't too bad in your flat. You can kind of like do this, that, and the other. But like when if you live in a remote area, it might be very difficult to find 1 inn, let alone 2. You may not have a fortress nearby. I mean, maybe they need to kind of change those for the foreseeable.
I mean, it would be great if they changed the daily tasks, but it's not a requirement. obviously people will lose out on 10 coins a day if they can't go to a fortress and finish the tasks. But with the events, if you can't complete those, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a task you didn't, an event you didn't get to complete. Daily tasks, they're not anything. It's not like in Pokemon Go where you need to do a daily task to build up to that weekly research reward.
Yeah, but what worries me with the daily tasks not being able to complete is that people will lose interest in the game completely.
Yes.
I mean, you can see it with Emma that, she can't go to these fortresses because they're in locked parks. So, every day she knows she's not going to do those daily tasks, and people could then completely lose interest with the game and not even care about brilliant events because they can't do, a big chunk of it on a daily basis, let alone an event.
Yeah, of course. And that, people who love the game, if they have less and less to open the game for, so if they can't complete that daily task, they are just going to drift away from it and probably not come back.
Yeah.
Or if they do, not as much as they were before.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is a danger. Like, obviously, we all love the game and we want it to get better and survive, but it's not going to unless they do a bit more to help people play the game.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I mean, I think the support mechanisms haven't been put in place properly for this since COVID-19's obviously kicked in. I mean, obviously they've gone to some extent. Obviously, you've mentioned that there's more ingredients for trace tonics on the map, which is great. It's more spell energy on the map, which has worked really well for some people. But I feel like that there are still places they can go with it. I feel like it's still not quite where it needs to be to support people to play the game to the full. I mean, if you look at Pokemon Go, for example, I mean, the way Niantic have really just smashed it they've absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, and like really keeping people informed about the changes that they're trying to make as well, with the raids, with your friends and things like that. And I think if they even started giving us the communications that they really trying to, we haven't had anything for a while now from them. And
no, I mean,
it feels like almost forgotten about,
Yeah, Phases is usually really good, but I feel like she and the rest of the Warner Brothers team, they just haven't been very communicative in this. I mean, Niantic have with Pokemon Go, like you said, they told us about raids that we're going to be able to do from home. That's not in yet, but they've told us they're working on it, so that's good.
That's important.
But, Phases did actually say that they are working on the fortress distance again, because obviously, as we know, they halved that distance, which was apparently unintentional when they fixed another bug. But she did post a comment the other day, and I'm trying to find it because it was a comment on a thread about an article rather than an official kind of post or anything. But she said that they are working on the fortresses and they think that we're going to like what they do. So that was in a comment within a thread that many people won't see.
Yeah.
Instead of making that as an announcement. I mean, we don't mind waiting if we're told that we are looking into it, we're trying our best, we're going to do it. But then
it's something we're looking at.
Yeah. Although they've said that with the port keys for, a few weeks and they still haven't managed to figure that out, which I don't understand.
Well, yeah, but we do know we've got a Burrow Beseiged event, which is looking really cool. So obviously we know brilliant events, we know how they work. And obviously there is going to be a series of tasks. So you're going to get 4 sets of tasks as usual, plus there's the bonus set of tasks. We now know what those tasks are, or at least we know what they are at the moment. They have changed 24 hours before the event has gone live slightly.
It's less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours since recording. But, I mean, what tasks have we got, Laurie, and what do people need to do?
Well, I've been looking through them. They all are very easy to do from home as long as people get spawns, because that is obviously important. Some people have been saying they haven't been getting many spawns from trace tonics, unfortunately. Hopefully that won't be the case. With the potions, we don't have to brew any until part 3 of 4 of the task, and that's just brewing 2 trace detection tonics. So they are obviously 3.5 hours at the moment, so that should be easy. You can start them if you want to get them done for when the event just starts. If you start them around 12, only put 2 on, and then you can put the master notes on the first one. Wait for that to be finished, and then wait until you get to that part of the task and collect it, and then you can put the master notes on the last one to finish it if need be. We need to use 6 of them total though, so if you want to prepare first, you'll need at least 6 of those brewed, and you will need 1 Baratheo's Brain Elixir for part 2 of 4 of the tasks. You do get 2 toadstools on part 1 if you don't have any Baratheos or if you can't brew them at the moment. It will obviously delay you getting through the tasks if you wanted to do them quickly, but you will get those, so don't worry about trying to go and grow some toadstools at the moment. Not many people can get out to the greenhouses.
No, they can't. No. Our nearest one is not too far away, but far enough away that...
Yeah, I mean, luckily we are allowed to go out for walks once a day at the moment, but we haven't been going out every day.
No.
Because we are trying to be good.
And also, being on your sofa is just far too relaxing sometimes.
I'm still managing to get mine on the way to work, so I've grown 2 lots of mushrooms last week, luckily, so I've got enough to get me through. But what I liked about this one, when I looked at this, Laurie normally tells me exactly what to do, but what I noticed on this one is on the first one, so you've got use the tonic for the trace detection. So what I was going to do is make sure I've done the first 2 tasks and then use my trace detection, claim it, and then use my Baratheos for the number 2, so that you get obviously the double points from trace detection ones.
Yes, and as we have been told as well, the some of the foundables are going to be boosted on the trace tonic. So where you need to get the 5 high for task 2, you might get some baby mandrakes or Grorp or Weasley's flying car.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Grorp,
it makes sense.
I wonder if they've done that.
Yeah. Good
And
luck
it
with
does
that.
say high foundables or better. We know that they do normally count anyway, but it's good that they put that in the task so that you know for sure that severe and emergency will count for that part of the task. And where you need the 2000 wizard and XP, as Steph said, if you use your Baratheos at the same time as the trace tonic, you'll do that easy.
So it's a really quick way in getting through those first 2 parts then, and then you're ready then just to collect your 2 trace detection tonics then.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we all tend to rush through the tasks. We try to get them done really quickly. Obviously not everybody has to do that. We have a full week, so if you want to take your time with it, and right now you might feel that taking your time with it is something to aim for every day. So
do a part a day, part 1, and then you got the bonus then as well, so you got that's over 5 days. So
I just always rush through to make sure I have time, because we never knew what would come up in life. At the moment you're stuck inside anyway, so it's fine, you've got the time, but never know if something is going to stop you. Like for instance, I know some people say they don't get enough brilliant foundables, and we will need 30 on the bonus task. So it's always worth trying to get to that at least a few days before the end of the event.
I mean, the trace tonics usually provide more brilliance during brilliant events, don't they? I think it's about half and half, if I remember rightly. But it may be slightly boosted more predominantly to brilliant, I'm not sure. But that is another good way to get them.
Yeah. So brew those trace tonics.
Definitely brew those trace tonics. Make sure you do. And maybe a Baratheo or 2 if you have the time. Get some XP.
Well, probably don't have the time now.
Don't have the time now.
But over the week.
Over the week, yes. Over the week.
I already almost made that mistake earlier.
I know. They take a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I've got 24 of them, so I really don't need to do it.
It's habit. It's habitual for me as well. I do it all the time. I'm like,
Yeah. I keep having to delete all my health potions, so I have room to collect brewed
I can't
potions.
believe you still got health potions at this
I know. Well, it's because of all the essential runestone gifts. I mean, I don't get loads, but I get enough that it keeps them topped up.
Yeah, I've mostly got rid of all mine, I think, or I've used them in solo fortresses and things like that. But well, so obviously thanks for the task there, and thank you to Orange Wizards and the Wizards Unite Hub and for helping set those graphics up and things like that. That's really helpful, and
the guides,
really
they're always
appreciated.
good.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna pretty much close this out now. So we've got just the 2 main questions. I mean, we've kind of touched upon the one already. I mean, what would you say, Portkey and WB, what would you say their response has been to COVID-19? Do you think they've gone far enough? Should they be doing more? And is hosting brilliant events the right call at the moment?
I think they should do more with the Portkeys, like they've done with Pokemon. They've halved that distance, and it really does make a difference. It means that you still hopefully managing to hatch some kind of eggs. And I think they should really be focusing on doing that for Wizards Unite.
Yes, like with the Portkeys, I forgot to mention with the Brilliant, obviously you've got to do 5 per Brilliant event, but I've seen people say that they can't get out at all to open any Portkeys, so they can't even pick up the 5 that they need for this Brilliant event because they can't clear 5 spaces.
Yeah.
So that's quite difficult. And I know that with the Fortress Foundables, they put them as a task reward, but they haven't done that for the Portkey Foundables. So people are going to be missing that if they don't find a way to open their Portkeys.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what the problem is with doing the half-distance Portkeys. They've obviously done it for the Brilliant ones, so why can't they do that with the rest? It could be something, I don't know how it works. It's obviously something that they have tried and they can't figure it out. So why not put in, they've got a lot of other Portkeys that are already in the game, like the 1K ones. Can they not change the rewards in those and just make all the Portkeys we pick up 1K?
Yeah, there are plenty of 1K Portkeys in the game, and 1Ks they unlock very quickly. I mean, I think bearing in mind with Pokemon again, they're making that reference, but I believe they've said that they're going to make it easier for you to clock up distances at home now when you're on the treadmill and things like that. So if you've got your own or rowing machine or something like that, so. If they've got something to remind, I know we have Adventure Sync, which kind of helps that little bit already, but maybe that's where WB and Portkey need to look at next, is obviously now, because we don't know how long this is going to last. We have an idea, we feel like we know, but we don't know. And I feel like social distancing anyway is probably something that's going to be in effect for quite a while anyway. So the measures probably do need to be better than they are now.
I mean, fortressing is a major part of this game. As we've said, we meet up quite often. It's a very social aspect, but also for the solo players is where they get their, required foundables on pages to help them to prestige. And right now we can't get out and do as many fortresses as we used to. I mean, I'm very lucky that I've literally got one 30-second walk away, but I can't come home and do fortressing anymore. Whereas I used to drop in and come home, where they've unintentionally halved that distance, I can't do that. And right now I'm following guidelines and only going out when I need some exercise rather than standing in one spot doing fortresses for half an hour.
Yeah, I feel a bit guilty for that I'm sat in one spot doing fortresses rather than taking that time and actually using it to walk.
Yeah. I've been going to not my local fortress, but one a little bit further away, not too far, like 3-4 minute walk away. So I'm walking around the park while fortressing because there's a nice gap. And that way, as I drop in and out, I can pick up spell energy from the inns as well. So it's combining play with exercise that way.
Yeah, whereas I'm risking it right opposite the police station.
Yeah.
Bit of gamble.
But at least, you're only going out for that fresh air and exercise, and not like 10 times a day. It's once a day.
No.
So you're following guidelines.
Absolutely. We need it.
Yes.
Yeah. And touching on your point with whether we should be using brilliant events still, I think they've worked them quite well, that you can do everything you need to do from the house, apart from, as we said, getting those Portkeys unlocked first. So get swinging your phone in your sock.
Not that anyone does that.
Or if you've got a robotic vacuum cleaner, just put it on there.
Yeah, but apart from
or one of those fans that's up in the ceiling and just like attach it to that.
Or your cats, but my cat does nothing, so.
Your dog.
I think the events are good. It still keeps people interested in the game. I just think they need to be doing other things on top of that.
Yeah. I've seen a few people like on Reddit and Facebook saying that, it's just a game, we shouldn't take it so seriously or be upset when they haven't changed things to enable us to play. But it's like, yeah, it is just a game, but we all play it to, have a bit of fun and enjoyment and that bit of entertainment, especially right now. It's good to take your mind off things. So
Yeah,
it's not that we've taken it too seriously, is that we want to be able to play the game fully. And some of us have, I know that not everybody, but some of us have spent money on the game, and we feel that, you know, we would like to keep spending money on the game, but right now there is nothing to spend for.
No, and for a lot of us, it's a huge part of our social side, really. That I know it's difficult at the minute. We don't get to do our meetups currently, but even with the situation, we're still doing those calls. Like tomorrow, we've got another call.
Zoom meetup
provided by Carol. Yeah, so I think we're still trying to keep it so that social aspect is still there, and I think that is really important, even more so now that we still try to keep in contact and have something to talk about, and have little aims in the game to go for, and if we didn't have that section of our lives, it would it's going to be a lot less boring. So
and we've got we're a small community, but we're a good community in Cardiff. We've got a lot of players who use the chat at the moment to chat about not just the game. We can chat about whatever we need to, and that's good to have that community to make sure that you're not alone, especially if there are people who do live alone.
Yeah.
And if you are listening, by the way, and you're from Cardiff or in the local area and you want to get on Telegram, just feel free to come and join us. It's open invitation. So we'll put the link in the description. Yeah, so you by all means feel free to jump in. It'd be great to have you part of the group. Before we close this as well, sort of going back to brilliant events, do you actually enjoy them? Silence.
I enjoy them. I do think. I know that they have to cater to all levels of play. For me, I think they're a little bit too easy. We can always, even before lockdown, we could always complete them within 2 days if we wanted to. One day if we really wanted to. I'd like them to be a bit more challenging sometimes, but I do look forward to knowing that we'll get 2 easy kind of events per month and having something to aim for. I know we get the other events like community days and things, but these are things that we know about. I would like them to change up the format sometimes, because they're very structural in that you'll have to get this portkey foundable, this fortress foundable. So a bit of a change up might be nice.
Yeah, to refresh it a little bit. I think it's it's definitely that they follow very similar patterns since the beginning, and they've adapted it slightly each time. Obviously, they've made the foundables now part of the tasks, so you can get them from the tasks. They've incorporated fortresses a little bit. They've used portkeys a bit more. So they have
added the bonus assignment.
So they've tweaked it from time to time, and I do like the tweaks that they've made. I think my massive problem with the brilliant events is I feel like, as Steph mentioned earlier, they do go on for too long for my liking. I know that's not the case for everyone, and I do understand, but for me personally, I feel like they do go on a bit too long. They oversaturate the map too much.
And accidentally picking up the portkeys when you don't need them.
Every time. Purple portkeys. And that's another thing as well, is that once I've picked up my initial 5 brilliant portkeys, I don't feel the need to pick them up again, because I don't always feel like they contain the ingredients I need or the things that I want, or there's not much XP to them. So I don't feel compelled to keep picking them up once I've got my 5 for my foundable. So there are a few things there that still don't quite work.
I'm very glad that they have left the XP only from brilliant portkeys behind, because that just wasn't great.
Yeah.
The XP was rubbish, and I like getting ingredients that I need from them.
Look, one thing I really liked about the I can't remember which event it was now, where you picked up the dragon event, where you had to pick up the portkeys for those events. I loved picking up those portkeys and flying through those. Like as soon as I saw what I was clicking on, I was picking it up. And that's kind of where I'd like to be at for brilliant events somehow. I don't know how that would work, but that's what I feel like it needs to be. You need to want to click on stuff, want to engage with it,
Yeah, I think one time, and I don't think it was a brilliant again, and it could have been the dragon or it could have been a different one. I can't quite remember, but it was given really good ingredients.
Yeah,
and you really wanted to open those ones, and I think anything that's kind of giving you a bit of an extra boost in XP. I find the XP at the minute really tragic in portkeys.
Yeah.
To the point that I don't even bother putting a Barathio on anymore. And I used to, save them all and then do it with a Barathio, and I just don't bother anymore.
No, same.
I just think they could make them more exciting. I do feel the last time they changed them up, they did a very poor job of it. And
yeah, like maybe they could focus on one set of ingredients each brilliant event.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to need those ingredients, but for instance, on one higher chance of getting unicorn hair, on the next one that might be Rumpentons, just something like that. Not everybody will need them, but that there's something, if you do need them, you'll more than likely pick them up then.
Yeah.
That's my main problem with the brilliant events anyway. I mean, they're fun. Like I said, you get to see new foundables, like the Kappa and the Zulu, which were brand new foundables, and we love them and they're great and we can't wait to see them added. But there are also a lot of there's a lot of monotony, there's a lot of predictability, and there's a lot of oversaturation, I think.
The one thing I do like that they've been doing is they focus in on one kind of spell for foundables. So, you'll get for instance, Graup flying car this time. They weren't really boosting them when they first started doing it. For instance, the one where the sorting app was the spell that was boosted, but I didn't see a single one. But the last brilliant event, I saw quite a few forks and buckbeaks, and I'm hoping to see Graups. I know everybody wants Graups.
Everyone wants Graup. Good old Graupy.
All the time.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that sorting that event. I think I maybe saw one the whole time, and that's not boosting.
Actually, I like that they've changed it from the spell that you're focusing on now to the family. So it is Wonders of the Wizarding World rather than any particular spell this time. So that's good.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up brilliant events quite well, I think. So interestingly, as we've been recording, we've also just found out that the daily tasks are changing from Wednesday. Is that right?
From Wednesday at 12:01 a.m. local time.
Wow, I mean, this is mad. We've just been talking about this, and now apparently they've changed. So what's happening?
So they've removed the daily tasks for Dinah in 2 times. They've changed it to use 1 tonic for trace detection, which right now should be quite easy for everybody with all the ingredients and half brew time.
That makes sense.
And they've changed the complete Wizarding challenge to earn 750 Wizarding XP, which again is very easy to do.
So that's just from catching foundables and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, so the rewards are the same. You get the free Granianair from the used tonic for trace detection, and you still get the 2 coins from earn 750 Wizarding XP.
See, I feel like that was an opportunity to maybe change the rewards a little bit as well.
Yeah, possibly, but I think that they just focused on changing them to inside tasks right now. Maybe they can change the rewards up at some other point, but yes, I would like to see new rewards at some point.
I mean, I like the fact that they finally changed it. They're obviously starting to listen to what we need from the game. Yeah, I just hope, as we said earlier, I do hope that the people, I know for me, I've got so many tonics to use, so I have no problem with that. I'm getting all the ingredients on the map for them. It's no issues, but I know some other people don't still see as many ingredients, or they may not have as many tonics, so one a day can be quite brutal in some cases. But I mean, they've changed it, so
they're playing right.
Monday, Tuesday, you still need to do all the tasks to complete them all, the fortressing and the inns, but then from Wednesday, so pretty much midnight, it's going to change from there.
And they're good changes, actually, that they're, as you say, they're changes that everyone can now do from home. There's nothing now you can't. Well, I suppose that the walking distance maybe still be a little bit contentious.
Oh, yeah. Walking, I don't drift at all. It's like crazy. I don't move, so the walking just does not go up for me all day. So, I'll still have to try and do that somehow, but I haven't really struggled with it because I've been able to go out every other day around midnight and do all my tasks then.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I do have a decent amount of drift. I'm quite lucky with that. But it's strange. We're on the same network. We sometimes use the same phones, and it just doesn't happen. I don't know why.
Apparently, I have gone 0.09 today, but that might be where I've been carrying my phone around with me inside.
So that's you migrating from the bed to the sofa.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, exactly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I'm really glad that they've made some changes there anyway. And
Yeah.
it's very funny that we've literally just been talking about that and then that drops. So I thought that was important to get that out as well.
Hopefully, a Fortress announcement is coming soon.
I would think so.
As well as half distance on portkeys.
Yes, yeah.
Those are the next two. I think they're the focuses now, right? They have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then who knows from that point on, but yeah. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. We hope you enjoyed this very first edition of Departure Tonight, and thank you to James for that awesome name. Really love it. Massive thank you all to being part of the show. Really appreciate it. Lots of fun. Stay tuned as we look into the rest of the events in April and chatting much more about Wizards Unite in the days and weeks ahead. If you've got any questions for us related to the game, or if you would you let us know about today's show, let us know down below. May your foundables never depart and fortresses always be favourable.